Hello and welcome once again to yet another episode at Smart Move to UK, in which we are speaking on relationship-based conversation with our special guest Radhika Mohta, who is a matchmaker and a dating coach. Radhika, as we progress in this conversation, I'm sure my viewers are more keen to know about your role, and I of course have understood how important it is to have a support and an assistant, and to be sure that there's somebody to talk to. But would you want to share with them in terms of how a relationship coach is of help?
So, Falguni, growing up, a lot of us lived in smaller towns, joint families, more tightly knit ecosystem where we were not entirely the responsibility of our parents or our primary caregivers, but a larger ecosystem, right? So our cousins, siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all of that. And now that we have moved away from our roots, we are into bigger cities, metropolitans, fast moving places because of our education, our work, or whatever brought us here. It does get isolating to be a social being and to have enough number of positive social interactions on a daily basis. And it's so critical to have those positive social interactions for good mental health, for just feeling alive. So in my work as a relationship coach, I do see that a lot of people are experiencing loneliness. They don't even have one best friend, and work is keeping them busy. It's a very hustle culture and everybody is trying to make the ends meet. And on the top of it, at the end of a day, when people are fatigued, when they are tired and they are trying to go to an app, put that energy to find a human, that human doesn't just appear out of nowhere. So it's so important to cultivate those friendships, to have an ecosystem where you feel supported and you support others, and then move forward in life, because the probability of somebody finding their life partner from a first or second degree connection is way higher than meeting a complete stranger on an app or somewhere and hitting it off. I mean, the amount of shared values, lifestyle, goals that you're likely to have with somebody in your connections, mutual friends, is way higher. So as a relationship coach, I definitely endorse and I highly advocate the idea of having a social life, being in places where you're known by your name, and if you're not already, then create one for yourself, and then being able to meet people organically and craft your own story.
Yes, absolutely. It's a wonderful tip, especially since I'm in this space of migration and I see a lot of people in prime time of their life moving out, and then you quite rightly said that when they are in another country, they're thinking back. At home, I have friends, I have a social life, but when I'm in a new country, they don't. And I think that's where the loneliness kind of builds up. And what you have rightly said in the previous episode about, making that social life in this new place as well, try to find people there and your connections there, and try to replicate so that you don't feel lonely. You start having that social life in that another country as well, which is so very important. So Radhika, would you want to share any of your most memorable experience with our viewers in terms of how your role has kind of helped somebody in their relationship?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first ones are always special and I hold them close to my heart. So the very first time that a message hit my WhatsApp inbox there was a group that I had created between a man and a woman in their 30s, and I even forgot about that group because it was, it had been a few months. And then pops up a save the date invite, and I went through it. The wedding was in Kanpur because the guy was from Kanpur and the lady was from Mumbai, and both of them worked in e-commerce firms in Bangalore. And sure, I did set them up on a first date, but I only take like a feedback, a follow-up after the first date. Don't follow date on date, right? I mean, it's too much intrusion into people's lives on, hey, so what did you do today? Right? I'm not their parents or whatever. So it turned out that they navigated the entire space, and the lady was 2 years elder to the guy. So being older, and they come from a fairly conservative background, they did have a couple of things to sort through, but they made it. And voila, I had that save the date, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I can still see that smile on your face there, and it still is bringing that joy to you when you're
Absolutely.
recalling this memory here.